Welcome back to the channel. You know, the thing that annoys me the most about the Switch 2 isn't the console itself, but actually the dock. And if you were like me when the Switch 2 was originally announced, I was hoping that Nintendo was going to come out with a more minimalistic, simple design for its dock. Something modern, something that would look good on your entertainment center or your desk setup. But what we got was pretty much the same dock from Switch 1, just with rounded edges. And so ANTANK reached out to me and they asked me if I wanted to review their new S3 Pro 2 dock. And so I've had a week to spend with this thing. And let me tell you, this is my favorite dock. So today I wanted to go through some of the ins and outs of this dock, what you get with it, how much it costs, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and as well, please like the video. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, one thing that stood out to me is the box design. Now, the box design is very simplistic, clean graphics. It reminds me very much of the Apple aesthetic that a lot of companies are going with nowadays. And there are two versions, one with an Ethernet port and one without. For this review, I did test the non-LAN model. When you open it up, you pretty much just get the dock, and that's basically it. You will need to bring your own HDMI cable and USB-C power cable, which honestly isn't a deal breaker at this price point. There are some subtle Switch 2 style color accents. On the left side, you have the blue, and on the right side, you have the red, which when you have the Switch 2 docked, you really don't notice it at all. And what I love about it the most is there's no bulky plastic walls or giant cradle. In fact, it collapses, so that way it's easier to take on the go. So let's go ahead and talk about ports, the features, and the day-to-day use. Now, port-wise, it's exactly what you'd want from a secondary dock. There is an HDMI port, a USB-C power input, one USB 3 port, and you do get a USB-A port. Great news is you can use your Nintendo Switch or Nintendo Switch 2 power adapter for the device. Now, there is a physical button to switch between TV mode and tabletop mode. That button is actually nice. It's clicky, responsive, and switches modes quickly. No weird delays. One thing I really appreciate is the lack of tall side walls. Because the screen and back of the Switch 2 are fully exposed, docking feels safer, no screen scraping, no awkward angles. It's a small thing, but it matters. Now, because the dock doesn't have tall walls, both the back and the screen are fully exposed, which helps with airflow. And during extended sessions, overheating hasn't been an issue for me at all. I tested it out on my 27-inch computer monitor, as well as I tested it out on my 55-inch television, and let me tell you, there is no difference in performance. It plays just like the official Switch 2 dock. Now, the portability, this is where the S3 Pro 2 wins. You can throw this in your backpack, a sling bag, whatever, and not even notice it. For travel, hotel setups, or portable monitors, this thing is genuinely convenient. It also has rubber feet on the bottom, which helps a lot. Despite being lightweight, it doesn't slide around on your desk. It feels intentionally designed for mobility, something the official dock absolutely is not. One of the biggest fears, though, with third-party Switch accessories has always been what happens when Nintendo updates the system. This is where ANTANK earns some real points. The S3 Pro 2 supports firmware updates, and there have already been a couple since launch, including one that fixed an HDR bug. That doesn't guarantee future compatibility forever, but it does mean this isn't a dead-end product. At least there is a plan. I will say, with my time with it, when I unboxed it, I was able to seamlessly connect it to my computer monitor, my capture card, and my home system without an issue whatsoever. Seriously, it felt like I was using an official Switch 2 dock. But it's not perfect. The thing I disliked about it the most is because it is lightweight. When you try and undock the Switch 2, the base comes with it. And so sometimes you have to use two hands to remove your Switch 2 cleanly. But this isn't a deal breaker because of what you're getting for the price point. You're really getting a phenomenal dock. Okay, so now let's talk about price. So currently on Amazon, you can buy the ANTANK S3 Pro 2 for $39.99 without the LAN port, which is so much more cheaper, especially what you're getting. You're getting 4K 120 frames per second output. You're getting a simpler design and a more portable dock. I'll leave a link in my description down below so you can go and check it out for yourself. At $39.99 price point versus the $120 official Switch 2 dock, this feels like a solid recommendation. If you are in need of a secondary dock for another room or for travel, trust me, this is the one dock you are going to want to purchase. Forget about all the other third-party docks. Spend the $40 and get yourself the ANTANK S3 Pro 2 Switch 2 dock. Trust me, you will thank me later. If this helped you decide whether the S3 Pro 2 Switch 2 dock is worth it, hit the like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.